Hello everyone, I'm Jeff Newton, also known as Dr. 729. So I just saw The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And to completely summarize, well, I wouldn't say summarize my opinion about this film, I would say this. Going from the first film to this is a bit of a leap. But here's my main review. Spider-Man is back in his latest Marc Webb directed film, starring Andrew Garfield as Tobey Maguire / Spider-Man, Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy, and we also have some big actors like Paul Giamatti as Rhino. We have Jimmy Fox as Electro and Dane DeHaan as Green Goblin. Sorry, just gonna do something really quick. Okay. What I do like about this film is this story. I love how this continues on right from the first one. It's not like a direct follow-up. Actually, kind of would be in that sense. But, that's not the main point of it. And I think the way it handles the story and what kind of weight it carries is very, very good and very, very surprising to me. The type of potential and type of energy the film had to really show out was really interesting. Let's talk about the cast here. Andrew Garfield, they couldn't have picked a better actor for him. This is such a superior performance to Tobey Maguire's version, because I did not like Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. I'm sorry, but I really don't think he's that good of an actor, and I really thought he wasn't that great. But thankfully, Andrew Garfield fucking sells it as Peter Parker. Like, sure, he looks older than he really is. And in the show's like, oh, he's in high school. I'm like, bullshit. This guy looks like he's in his mid-20s. Like, Andrew Garfield looks, even though he's fantastic, he looks really, like, the age they cast him for really does look like, is a little bit distracting. Like, they set up his character in this film to be around 19, 20, like 18, 19 years old, even though he looks like he's like 26 years old. Which I think he is, but that's not my point. But he's fantastic. Like, I really like this character, the way he shows it, the way he portrays it. I'm actually interested with him. I really want to figure out what's about him, what's going to go on with him. I'm very, very engaged with this character. But what I got with this is much, much superior than how the Spider-Man films had before. Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy is fantastic. She's a great actor. She's a great character. She's very, really well portrayed. And I personally think she's just a great character overall. Unfortunately, if you know the comics and you've seen this film already, you know her ultimate fate. And it does happen in this movie, which was so gracefully missed in the last film. And, the amazing, the villains. I'm sorry. The villains were a bit of a mixed bag for me. It's closer. Alright. The villains are a bit of a mixed bag. Let's talk about my favorite first. Dane DeHaan as Green Goblin. He looked the part. He sounded the part. He looks fantastic in the costume. The voice really worked. The look really worked. I thought the casting was great. And that's really, really good all around. I thought, like, he was definitely one of my favorite villain of all. And, oh yes, Jimmy Fox as Electro is also very, very good. And I think he really does bring out this tragicness and very sympathetic nature to him. He's all like, I just really want, he's just like, I really want Spider-Man to notice me. Even though it's a cliche type of character we've seen before, but I think he portrays him very, very sympathetically. And we could really can relate to a character like that. Like, if it's been done before, we can relate to it. And it's done fairly good in the film. How the CG looks on him and how he looks, I think is still really good. Even though he's a bit goofy at times, and the action scene in the middle of the film within Times Square with him and Spider-Man up against each other is fantastic. It's greatly choreographed, greatly shot, great intense all around. I thought he was actually so for Just trying to summarize that. So like I have Green Goblin, which I love. Electro, which I thought was pretty good. Rhino, on the other hand, total waste of our time. He got like 4 or 5 minutes of screen time in this film, and heck, I just finished the film about 10 minutes ago. I don't remember him, and that's not a good sign. I do think he's very underutilized. He's poorly developed. He's totally shoehorned in. I didn't like it at all. It really did feel unnecessary. I'm like, yeah, it just looks terrible. And the way he looks, while decent, I would have liked to see what they could have done with the original look of him. Whenever I read Spiderman in comics and I saw Rhino, I'm like, he looks like a gray version of the Hulk. They can make it this a great. They could have done this a great CG character, but they didn't take that route. They took him meets this huge Transformers robot, and while it looked okay, it still was very underestimated, and I personally thought it just wasn't that good all around. Now here's some actors and villains all that sorted out. The romance between Peter Parker and Mary Jane, I'm sorry, not Mary Jane, Gwen Stacy is so genuine. It seems so sweet. Mainly because that they are a real couple they are a real couple in real life, of course. And I think any moments with them together, they're simply talking, wonderful. I really applaud the film for that. I really think it's done well. And there's a lot of emotion in this film where it just lets you breathe. It really allows you to take the setting of New York and really puts it into your effect. Like, it's really this huge cluttered place in the U.S. And I'm like, it really makes the selling atmosphere for it really seem great. And any conversation between Peter Parker and Dane DeHaan's character, Harry Osborn, I just remember that, thankfully. It was also very, very good, and I thought it was very, very interesting, too. I wondered what was going to go along, even though I thought Harry Osborn's background was a little forced, I'd say, but still what they did with it was okay. And I thought, it could have gone it could have gotten better, but it could have gotten worse. The action is actually very, very good too. I think the biggest two highlights for me is definitely, like how I said before in this video, is that there's just, in the middle of the movie, there's this big Times Square fight scene, and I think it's greatly done. It's wonderful. It's very, 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 very good, and I really liked it a lot. Really, really tense, very, very fast paced, very well timed, and excellent effects. Well, the effects, actually, the CG, 70% of it in this film is really good. There's some moments where I'm just like, wow, that's pretty good. I like that. But there's, like how I said it, 30%, like a decent amount of time, the effects are not that great, and they are a little obvious. Like, these are brightly colored characters, so when you have bright characters in CG, the brightness, like if it's going to be red or orange or yellow, it really will contract outwards, and that's how it deals with color palette and effects. And this film kind of just, in my opinion, just grazes the bullet by it. I'm like, it really, really just got away with it with the effects for me. And there's some moments I'm like, no, this is Spiderman, not 300. But thankfully, it just missed it. And overall, I do think the effects are decently good. And the highly conclusion in the end of the film, I think, is very, very well done. Like I have said before, the weakest part of the film is the development of these villains. I do think, well, one of them was great. The Green Goblin was great. I loved his backstory, even though a little shoehorned. I do think the way he looked, the way he acted, the portrayed it was very, very good. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I'm just trying to congregate or trying to summarize it all up in this. The villains were half. The casting was great. There's one good scene. There's one really good scene with Peter Parker and his Aunt May, played by shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I forgot her name. No, I'm not. I'm not going to search up online. But I think they're both very, very good. Even though I think she is a little, she doesn't get the much performance in it. Sally Field, that's her name. Sally Field. Even though I think she's still a great actor, and the scenes in this movie with her in it are really good, just of the actor sense. But the purpose for her in certain scenes doesn't make that much sense. Like, there's this one big scene when he kind of flips out at her or gets really upset at her, and it kind of seems out of left field because we never saw them that much before. So why would they have that type of angst together? Like, I understand there's like some emotional problems within the film, but it seemed a bit too jarred in a sense. Hot. No. My hairs are messed up. But, with any, like, overall, that's my, and the ending I thought was very, very good. The way it dealt with a real power and a real fact that it really had, like, it felt like this character is gone, you're not going to see them again. It really has a big impact on the audience, and I'm like, wow, it really feels compelling. It's very, very, very good. Another complaint I will have about this film is that I think the beginning is a little rushed. Like, the first 10 or 15 minutes, it's just like, here it is, throwing. I'm like, it feels a little uncomfortable, but then again, it's a comic book movie. Just have fun when you have fun. So, for that, I like the film a lot. There's some moments I do not like some of the villains are underused, and some are not really that great. Some of the build-up in the beginning wasn't that really, that was a little forced, and a decent amount of the time, the effects were not that great, but the romance, the characters' connection, the way they dealt with each other, the way they felt with the effects, the story, the excelling. Oh shit, I forgot to say this. That from the trailer, just saying there's a lot more mysterious things about Peter Parker and his relationship with his father, even though he's dead. Very, very good. I really liked that a lot. Even though there wasn't that much, it was like it was fixed in 10 or 15 minutes. I'm like, I wish to see more. But oh well. Overall, I really damn like Spider-Man 2. Is it as good as the first, in my opinion? No. I do really like the first a lot. Like, it's one of my favorites. If not my favorite Spider-Man film of all. So, I will give Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, in my opinion, I will give it probably a 75%. I know that's a little high for some people's standards, but I still really thought this one was really, really fun. It's much better than the first, like the 2002 Spider-Man and the third 2007 Spider-Man. Is this as good as this original second? I don't know, because they're kind of even in my opinion. Maybe this one, I like this one maybe a little bit more than the original second. I don't know. Because I just wasn't a fan of the Sam Raimi ones. I'm sorry if I piss off people for saying that, but I really don't. I liked them good as a kid, but now growing up, they don't hold up. So overall, take Spider-Man 2 as it is. A fun, cool Spider-Man comic book movie that is trying real hard with good heart and genuine effort put into it. Remember, my rating was a 75% of 100%, and everyone, if you haven't seen it lately, please do it, because Spider-Man will be slinging his web to a theater near you soon. I know it's a bad joke or pun, whatever. Take the film as it is. Until next time, everyone. I'm Jack Nugent, Austin is Darkler729, and I will see you in the next video. And remember, stay strong. Bye.